is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing Trivia at St. Nick's, which originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on Friday, November 8th. If you want to hang out with us when the podcast is over, please follow us on Instagram. You are missing out if you're not following us on Instagram. The content is flowing. We are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, jump into our Girls Gone Hallmark Facebook group. Lots and lots and lots of new people over there.
We're about to break the 1,000-member mark.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it too. It's just a super fun group of people. There's a lot of cruise talk in there right now, but it's not like strictly cruise. We talk a lot about a lot of Hallmark stuff.
Indeed. I have a little Hallmark news and note. One, I would like to debunk a rumor.
Ooh, tell me.
It has been asked several times if we were guests of Hallmark on the cruise. That's all you need to know. We were not. We paid our own way. We booked the trip it was all our own doing.
Yes, we were not guests at all. We paid 100% of the cost.
We did. The second news and note is Hallmark dropped the news that When Calls the Heart is premiering their newest season on January 5th, leading the Way Home fans to wonder, what is happening? Hallmark is characteristically tight-lipped about this reveal. People have been asking on their social media channels, what does this mean for The Way Home? And they have not yet made an announcement. There are theories flying fast and furious. Nobody knows. Questions are, is The Way Home taking When Calls the Heart's typical spot? So will they be starting in March? Someone suggested that perhaps The Way Home is moving to Hallmark Plus, which I think would have the fans in an uproar.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't a terrible idea if you're trying to get people over to your streamer. We will announce any further news as we get it.
Yeah, it's been shot. It's done, right?
It's done.
I mean, it might still be in post-production, but as far as I understand, like season 3 is shot and filmed.
That's my understanding as well.
Wow. Well, we'll see. I'm a little disappointed because I was looking forward to it starting again in January. And maybe it still is. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm ready for season 3.
Me too. Wow. Me too. All right, let's jump into a synopsis of Trivia at St. Nick's.
Guys, here it is. Here is the synopsis from HallmarkChannel.com. Locals compete in a Christmas bar trivia tournament at the end of the semester.
Marlo Hunter directed Trivia at St. Nick's. This is Marlo's 5th directing credit and her 2nd for Hallmark, having directed Mystic Christmas last year.
Heyo, if you didn't watch that movie last year, you should. It was real cute. Trivia at St. Nick's was written by Christine Garver and Stephanie Jackson. They both worked as writers on The Breakup Diaries. In addition, Stephanie has 4 additional writing credits, including Sweet Pecan Summer and Christmas in Tahoe.
Tammin Sursok stars as Celeste. Tammin has 35 acting credits, including The Young and the Restless and Pretty Little Liars.
Every time. This guy's last name. Every single time. Brant Daugherty.
There's no T-R-Y. I think it's Daugherty.
He plays Max, guys. Brant has 36 acting credits, which include Pretty Little Liars with Tammin and a handful of Hallmark movies dating back to Mingle All the Way.
Kathleen Elizabeth Monteleone plays Ashley. Kathleen is brand new to Hallmark and has 8 acting credits.
Liz Kiefer plays Celeste's mom. She is probably best known as her role as Blake Thorpe on the daytime soap Guiding Light.
We have quite a few additional Hallmark newcomers in this movie. Ari Brand plays Freddie. Willie C. Carpenter is Gary. Becca Zornosa plays Ruby. Brian McCarthy plays Nick. And Allison McKay is the octogenarian professor, which is how she is credited, by the way.
Trivia at St. Nick's was filmed in Mystic and New London, Connecticut.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll come right back with first impressions It is time to share your first impression of Trivia at St. Nick. Wendy.
I'm feeling a little like we might have the same one here.
Oh, we might.
My first impression is these are the Hallmark movie trivia questions I expected on the cruise.
Ding, ding, ding. This is exactly what I wanted the trivia on the Hallmark cruise to be like.
We would have killed.
I know. Were you like, haul out the holly lit up?
Yes, from my couch.
Me too.
Absolutely. I knew the answers and I was disappointed that there was only 2 questions. I was like, give me more.
I know, but give me all 8.
I was expecting all 8. Very funny that they included this in this movie. I thought that was very clever and nicely done. I wish those were our questions on the cruise.
Agree. This episode comes out before our cruise tell-all, but that's a spoiler alert for our cruise tell-all episode.
Yeah, and I think we talk a little bit more about the trivia.
We do. All right, let's talk what we liked.
For me, you know I love a trivia night. I go to trivia night like once a week, guys, at a local restaurant in my neighborhood. I love trivia night. I was loving that this movie had that angle. It was fun. It gives Hallmark a little something different.
Yeah, I thought this was such a fun and well-executed premise. The trivia itself was really well done. Mm-hmm. We've seen bits and pieces of like trivia in other movies, and I saw some comments like too much trivia. And for me, I wanted all of that.
The movie is about trivia.
I know. And I think they did a good job. I think the balance of trivia questions, they hit the right balance. And I love trivia too. I love it so much. In addition, I love the real pop culture references.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We get Friends, Stranger Things, Ted Lasso. Of course, as we mentioned, the Hallmark movie moment at the end was really such a fun and believable button on this movie.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. I love trivia, but I didn't really like this movie.
Tell me more.
Well, I still have some likes. I'll get to the wishes, but some highlights, some things I did like. I really enjoyed the supporting characters. Ashley, Gary, Sherry, Freddie. I thought they all brought something like an ensemble cast. It was, would you call this movie like an ensemble cast?
Well, I think so. I think it is because we learn enough about the
other
supporting characters. Like we care about Freddie and Ashley, and we like Ashley's pregnant.
Yes,
they have that fun little storyline, and then we see like a budding romance between Sherry and Gary, and I think Gary is probably the most fun. I loved him as part of their trivia team. And I loved that their trivia team was a nice balance. It wasn't like all college professors, or it wasn't all her friends. You know, her mom's there and this other. I just thought it was nice.
Yeah, I thought all the supporting characters were great. Otherwise, it would have just been too much Celeste.
Too much. I thought this movie had some really funny moments, and although it's not written by the same person who wrote Mystic Christmas, the fact that it's directed by the same person, the comedy hits for me. Space Rocks for Jocks is a nice, funny running joke. When Celeste is trying to shush everyone and get them to take trivia seriously, and they're like, "Oh, mom's mad."
Mom's mad. It was a great line.
Loved it. Resting Scrooge face is another great line. I thought this was a funny movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of like good, funny little things. And there were some other nice, tender moments I liked as well. Like when Max is talking about savoring the Christmas season and how this time of year really highlights the importance of, you know, the people in your lives or whatever. I thought it was nice. It was deep, gave me those holiday vibes.
Yeah, I like that we see that Celeste and Sherry are still grappling with what it means to have lost their husband/father, but they don't make Sherry be sad and alone forever. They're letting her move on. They're letting her have her own life. I thought it was very realistic. Like
the budding romance.
Yeah, two things can be true.
Oh, of course.
You can still be struggling with what it means to have lost your partner of many years, but continue to live your life.
How did you like the character of Max?
I thought Max was fine.
Did you find him charming and sweet and a good sport?
Well, I thought he was an especially good sport because I thought Celeste was rather difficult to deal with. So
100%.
I thought, are we going to talk wishes?
Because we can get into the wishes.
Because here's what I think. I think this happens a lot. Okay, here's the issue. Celeste is too tightly wound for me. She's often choosing to cut off her nose to spite her face, telling Max, you can't join our team. Mm-hmm. But then you're not going to have a team at all.
Yeah.
You know, she's mad because his football program is taking away from her
Not his fault.
telescope, which, yes, is not his fault. And her buffet tirade is very much giving like Meg Ryan and You've Got Mail. That's a garnish. You're taking all of the garnish. We see female characters portrayed by this, like her need for control and her need to win overshadowed everything else. And then we have these male characters that come in. Honestly, it's kind of like Haunted Wedding. Wes Brown's character was the same way. Like he kind of just took the abuse. And
Autumn at Apple Hill.
Thank you. Autumn at Apple Hill. But my recollection is that Aaron Cahill's character is a little harsh and he just kind of takes it. And in this case, Max just kind of takes it. And not that I want them to be contentious and fighting the entire time, but it just paints these women as kind of nasty.
I agree. For me, high, strong, super tense, judgy attitude, it made her a tough lead to root for. I was like, she's so unlikable. I don't care anything about her.
You know, Tammin Sursok is new to me. Like, I was not a Pretty Little Liars watcher. She's so cute. Like, there's something about her face that I really liked. And as I was watching her, I was like, man, I just wish, and I'm not saying, oh, women need to be nice. It's not about being nice. She just came in too hot in the beginning.
Well, I just thought that her dislike of Max was more juvenile than justified.
Yeah.
There was no reason for her to be like policing the buffet. That was so dumb. And then it gets even worse when he takes her on this very nice date. And unfortunately, there's an animal on the road and they get a flat tire. None of it is his fault. And she is so pissed off at him that she is missing the next round of trivia. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
So I have a lot of thoughts about that scene. One, we did get an email from correspondent Mike, who, for new listeners, he is a Facebook group member and podcast listener who sends us very detailed emails about his thoughts on these movies, which I super appreciate. His take on that was like, you know, if you are newly liking someone and now you have the opportunity to kind of be stuck with them, he's like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's fun. Now we're stuck here and we got to hang out, right? We know I'm very high strung and I don't do well with things not going the way I expect them to.
Really?
I don't do well with last minute changes. So I could understand her. I'm not saying it was justified. I'm not saying that my behavior is justified.
It's a trivia game. It's not brain surgery she's missing.
I understand, but it's almost the final. It's not the final round.
I don't care. We don't even have a backstory of why she wants to win so badly, other than she has lost.
Yeah, she wants the stan.
What's the word? IDGAF?
When Gen X tries to Gen Z.
Sometimes I can do it, but like it's been a rough re-entry from the cruise.
She was nasty and there was nothing he could do about it. And I did think, like, you know, early on when they go rock climbing and she's like looking up the how-to video, I was like, why did we not get on the internet and look up how to change a tire? Like, you asked him and
Well,
you're
I'll
like,
tell you, it's not really safe to change your own tire, and you shouldn't be doing that on the side of the road.
but somebody's got to do it.
A professional. People get killed all the time changing their own tires on the side of the road. Don't do it.
It's not safe because of the oncoming traffic.
Correct.
Yes, I hear you. I do hear that. But the point is, she like snaps at him. She's like, you don't know how to change a tire? I'm like, yeah, the tow truck driver made a good point. Why didn't y'all look up in the manual?
Yeah, well, sometimes also, and this is my experience in the car industry, when tires are put on, they're put on with an air
Oh, you need special tools to undo the.
Well, you need, sometimes it's too tight and you can't do it, undo them yourself, the lug nuts or whatever. Anyway, that's my knowledge. I will call AAA if I have a flat tire.
As would I. My point is, I wouldn't look at my husband and be like, "You don't know how to do it." Mm-hmm. Like, we're in this. Neither of us knows how to do it.
Well, this goes back to, there was this superiority that she had over him. She was a doctor of astronomy. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
she's
he
a
was just
scientist.
a football coach. So like she didn't think he was smart enough, right?
Yeah, the line, "The cute people who enjoy sports can also be smart," which
From
came
her mom, who read her the Riot Act. Yes.
The other issue I have with this scene is, why did they need to go an hour away to make a Christmas village? They were going under the premise, like, we're going to a maple syrup farm, but that's not what they did. They had this like cute little craft. He could have done that anywhere. He could have done it in town. They didn't need to be an hour away. They
Are
set
you
up
blaming him?
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the false premise that this flat tire scene is set upon.
Okay. I think she was so in the wrong here.
I do like she comes around quickly. She apologizes. But I think he has to do too much. I think he has to do too much accepting of her attitude.
100%.
Do you have more wishes?
I do. I didn't understand the subplot with her TA. I thought it was underdeveloped. I was like, make it matter or cut it out. Like they never really explained why the TA was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not
Surly.
Yeah, surly is a great word.
I didn't need an explanation. It's just, who's that? She really resembles somebody.
Oh, Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for me. I liked her.
I didn't get it. And I didn't get why at the end there was this whole oh, maybe you'll be on my team next year.
But Celeste is like, maybe. She's not exactly rooting for that idea. She's got a team. She can't bump somebody.
Right.
You ready for Did you see that?
Hold on. Did you think that there was chemistry between our two leads? Not as actors, as characters.
Yeah.
You thought that they what did he like about her?
I don't know, but he does that moment where he bites his lip and
Get it, but she's not giving him anything.
they have those nice walks home. She softens. They have
She softens a little bit on that walk home.
and they have 2 walks home where they have those connections, and then they paint the house together, and they have all of those team building where she's come around to him. She's harsh, but in the center 60% of this movie, they are pretty great to each other.
All right.
You didn't win Wendy back.
I'm ready to move on to Did You See That?
There's a scene in the bar. They do kind of like a roundabout. They're swinging around to the faces of all of the trivia characters on their team. And behind them, did you see the giant Tiny Tim candle that we saw at Kohl's? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I do, but no, I didn't
There's
see
a
it.
giant Christmas decoration. We saw it at Kohl's. I'm sure they sell it at other places that looks like,
It's a blow mold, basically, is what they're called.
what are they called?
A blow mold?
I didn't really. I've never heard that word.
I think if that's what we're talking about, where they're a big plastic thing and then they have a light inside of them.
Oh, yes. I thought you meant the kind of candle, but it looks like it's a giant version of what you would see Scrooge McDuck walking through. Scrooge McDuck. Ebenezer Scrooge.
I'm yeah.
You know which Christmas Carol we watch in our house, walking through his house like a little golden candle holder. Anyway, we saw one at Kohl's and I just was like, that's the same.
Yeah, I wanted that. I remember.
I had no idea that that's what those plastic Christmas holiday decorations were called. Now you know.
Now you know.
Fun trivia. Hall at the Holly lit up is one of the trivia answers.
Yes.
Starring Jennifer Aspin, who is the executive producer of this movie.
Nice. Like I said at the top, we play a lot of trivia.
Yeah.
You don't shout out your
God.
answers.
I agree.
Okay, my daughter and I go and play all the time, but recently I took my husband because my daughter, and he was he was too loud. And I was like, shh,
Can I hear you?
you can read your lips. Stop talking. because I get real competitive. You can't shout out your answers, especially when you have to write them down and turn them in. Like, that is, get it together.
Agree.
Anyway, that's all.
I'm scared to ask what you rated this movie.
I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it 3.75.
I told you I didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy the romantic connection. I loved the fact that it was like set in this bar and this trivia was what these people do. Though I have a question for you.
Okay.
I'm confused. How common is it that staff stay around during the holidays at a...
I mean, she lives there.
Fine. And what about the other people? I get like the international students weren't going home. Like I understand that, but what about the other people? I think
a lot of those people are just people that live in town. I mean, I think when you think about a college, the students aren't from there.
Right.
But the staff live there. So
yeah. Okay. They're not like stuck living on campus. It's not like the movie The Holdovers where they're on campus.
yeah, because the holdovers, the adults that stay are staying because they're students that have to stay and
Correct.
they need some staff to like manage them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think this is a different situation.
Yeah.
Because only a few of them are actually staff. The rest of them are like her friends that live around there.
Okay. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
You got to think fast. What would your Christmas team trivia?
Oh God, I would never
be
be able to come up with something. This is my least. I could not do it. What's yours?
I don't know. I would have to chat GPT that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would never be able to come up with something funny.
Slay what?
I loved it.
Jingle Bell Run reference.
Yeah.
Watch Jingle Bell Run this week.
Do it. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, you know we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Leave them in the podcast app that you are currently listening to. Maybe you'll hear it read on a future episode of the podcast. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.